Hey, I'm Digital Demon, and today I'm going to be turning the crew into Pokemon trainers. This idea was inspired by TrueGreen7's videos. I guess it's conceptually similar to turning Poketubers into Pokemon, but this actually isn't inspired by those videos. I had this idea for a while, and the format is very different. Anyway, you may have noticed that the crew consists of 5 people. Will I draw all of them? No! That's too much for one video. So I'll be splitting this into 2 parts. I'll only be drawing 2 of them in this video, as after I'm done with the crew, I'll only draw 2 YouTubers per video. So I want to set the standard with this one. Before moving on to the actual meat of the video, I want to talk about the sprites. You may have noticed that I'm using these sprites in 2 different videos. They aren't staying. I know they're kind of bad. I kind of rushed them. They weren't supposed to be permanent anyway, but yeah. I'm probably going to remake them. Or maybe I just won't use any sprites in future videos. I don't know, we'll see, but that's pretty much about that. For my first design, I'm going to draw Funny because she's the face of the channel and it'd be kind of weird for her not to show up until the second video. Though before we get to the speed paint, I'll go over what to expect, I guess. In this series, I'll assign each YouTuber a role that I can keep in mind while designing them, like rival, gym leader, etc. Kinda like if they were a character from the games. I don't think it'd be fair to give them different roles, and while making them all gym leaders would probably make sense, I don't really want to do that. So they all get to be notable characters that aren't directly involved with the main plot. My best example is those characters from the anime, who aren't one-offs, but they only show up occasionally as a motivator, rival, friend to the pro tags, but aren't really involved in the main story beats. This also gives me some freedom in how I design them because I don't have to make them adhere to a certain type, and I get more freedom with their team. Like, I don't have to make all of them fully leveled as if they were a champion or something. I think that's all I needed to cover, so let's move on to the design. So, about the footage, I had multiple problems with it. First of all, I lost most of the sketch, which is what was supposed to be here. There wasn't supposed to be footage of, like, the line art, but I lost all of that. But that wasn't even the worst of my problems, because I didn't have a way to get the recordings onto my laptop so I could edit them into here, and I'm not gonna go into why I can't do that because I don't want to waste time. But yeah, so I had to record them from my phone and then put them in Google Drive to get them on my laptop. But anyway, so the design, Funnies is probably the least changed out of all the crew. I don't have Lunar Golds and Dragos drawn out yet. But I know they're probably gonna be more changed than Funnies is right now. She has the most, like, adventure-y outfit of the crew, her like, little character. So I didn't end up changing it that much. Most of the changes are, like, mostly just to differentiate the different outfits. But I did try to make it more like Pokemon. Also, by the way, these aren't going to be like in like the Pokemon style or anything. Mostly because I can't do that right now. I'll try to practice it, but Yeah, that's not what I'm doing right now. They are a bit taller than I normally draw my characters, though. So one of the main changes I made is, I wanted like a contrast between the like, I guess, tight-fitting shirt she has under the top part. I don't know how to explain that. This, you can see it on screen right now. Because in the original design, it's also kind of like directly flat on her. And like it's the outfit is kind of just like stuck to her body. I don't know how to explain this, but anyway, so I made the top and shorts more loose, more bigger. I don't know. Yeah, so I tried to make the top and the shorts more similar to each other. I also removed the gold from her design, mostly because there's not really a particular reason. I just didn't really want to keep the gold armbands, and I did keep the like triangle design thing that's on her top, and I added it to the belt too. But it's silver now. Kind of like the key lock. I don't remember what it was, but she has like a necklace, and because they have like updated sprites, so she has a necklace and it's like silver. So I changed it to silver. I kept her hair pretty much the exact same. It hasn't changed like at all. This isn't scripted, if you can't tell already. Her boots also, they're not the exact same, but it didn't change that much from the original design. You'll see once it's colored that the top looks a lot like the shorts. I did change the shorts design because I just didn't like it, I'm gonna be honest. Though I didn't change it that much, it's still pretty simple. And I just wanted to add some asymmetry in there, so she's got like those belt loop things. I don't know what they're called. And just a random stripe. I just put a stripe there. Honestly, it's not that much better than the original show. But, you know, I just wanted to change it up. I don't think the loop thing is supposed to be attached like that, but it doesn't matter. This is Pokemon. They do something like that. The legs were honestly kind of fun to draw. Well, not fun, but while I was sketching, I was like, that's the first time I like did the legs like that, I think. Like segmented them. Or, like drew them in segments. Yeah. So here's the boots. I just added a random patch there. Purely to break up the space. The laces were also, I like doing the laces. Also, another thing I did to make the design more cohesive, I guess, is I made the socks have the same, look like they're made out of the same material as the like undershirt. Oh, and the gloves, they're different from the originals. I don't have a particular reason for that. They just are. So now moving on to the coloring. As you can see, I made it mostly white, the top. With the light blue highlights, I guess. I mostly changed the colors so that there's more contrast between the hair and the like shirt, and it doesn't like blend in. That's also why I made the hood part brown. I wanted to add more brown into the design. And the blue of the hoodie was, I'm pretty sure, the exact same as the hair. So I changed it so it wouldn't like blend into her hair like that. It was mostly, I mostly chose brown because I didn't know what other color to put into. Though I did want to put more brown into this design, so that worked out. I also put brown down here. Because I thought it brought it together well. Yeah, and so I'm just coloring it in. Hey, I might put a disclaimer over the footage, but I'm recording this in segments, by the way. I don't know where that noise came from. It sounds like scratching, but I don't remember. I don't remember scratching during that recording. I scratched multiple things in this room, even against the laptop's mic. None of it sounded like that. So I don't know what that was. But anyway, here's the shading. I don't normally shade like this. I just wanted to try something new. I think it looked okay. I kind of wish I had used pure white for the highlights, but it is what it is. But yeah, this is pretty much the design. I don't know what else to say for this. I think I'm just gonna let this play out since the footage is almost over, so there's no point in cutting it out. Now that we know what Funny looks like as a Pokemon trainer, now it's time to figure out what her team will be. First, I'll start off with the ace of her team. For the KREW's aces, I want them to be based off the KREW teddies. Funny's teddy is a blue wolf with a party hat. The only wolves in Pokemon are the Lycanrocs, and that's it. Well, there's also Zacian and Zamazenta, but those are legendaries, and they're supposed to be normal trainers. They don't get legendaries. Luckily enough, though, the Lycanroc's shinies are actually blue, which means we could easily give one to Funny. The question now, though, is which one? I think we can easily rule out Midnight Lycanroc, as it's a bit too edgy for what we're going for. that leaves us with midday and dusk. I was originally gonna go for midday Lycanroc, as it's already a shiny, and I don't think I'll be giving any more of the crew shinies. I don't know, maybe plans will change. I'll change up a team member and it'll be shiny. But I was like, Dusk is the rare one. Both shiny and special form would be overkill. But Dusk has that deeper blue and the wilder appearance. And I think it fits much better with Funny, so she'll be having Dusk Lycanroc as a race. Okay, now we've chosen her race, so what comes after that? Well, obviously the rest of the team. But for her second Pokemon, I'm actually gonna choose an evolution because I figured that all of the crew should get evolutions. I'm doing this because the crew are siblings, and I think it makes sense to give them Pokemon from a line that are all related, but they're very different. I think it makes sense to give Funny a blue evolution, which leaves us with Vaporeon and Glaceon. Now, I'm going to give her Glaceon because often in games she'll choose the ice power over the water power, which makes me think she'd prefer the ice evolution. I'll also give her a Meowth as a reference to the meme about how Funny loves money, and also the cat ears she used to have on her Roblox avatar. I do mean Meowth and not Persian, as Persian doesn't have the ears, and it doesn't have the coin on its head. Hi, me from the future. I forgot that I decided it would actually be Galarian Meowth. Chosen for mostly the same reasons, it's just wilder, I guess. But yeah, that's what shows up on the trainer card at the end, so just so no one's confused. Talking about money, I'll also give her a Golden Go. You know, Funny is kind of like a gimme ghoul, making us give her money to feed her Game Pass addiction. Also, she just kind of gives off the vibes of a wacky coin tube man. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Okay, and for her fifth Pokemon, I'm going to give her Zoroark. I chose this one because it was already on my mind, because I was thinking about how if Funny's Teddy was a fox instead of a wolf, my only blue options would be Alolan Ninetales and then shiny Zorua. Not even the evolved form because Zoroark is purple. But anyway, I figured that it makes sense to add Zoroark on the team because it's a mischievous fox, and I think the vibes are there. Zoroark instead of Zorua because I did think about it because of the shiny, but I'm not keeping it shiny since she already has the shiny Lycanroc. So Zoroark since evolved. Last Pokemon I'm gonna give to Funny is Seviper. Why Seviper? I'm not gonna tell you, because the reason I chose Seviper is connected to something in the second part of this. You can leave your guesses in the comments on what you think the reasoning is. Now we're finally done with Funny's design and team. Do you like my choices? I designed her a trainer card so that you could look at both at the same time. Now it's time to move on to the next crew member. Okay, jumping right into the speed draw. After Funny, we're gonna do the crew by age, I think. I just, wanted to get Funny done with first. So we're doing Rainbow, the oldest. For her design, I wanted to lean into the dessert, sweet theme. Fun fact, this ended up looking more like her updated design, rather than the original that I have in the corner there. That wasn't intentional. The only part that I took from that design was the hat, because I thought that made more sense than having a whole... Well, I know it's still supposed to be a hat, but that's like a whole cake on her head. I don't think that would make sense. But then I realized I got the dress the top of the dress kind of similar. So that's nice. It's not exactly the same. It's like completely like no collar. The hat, in the sketch, if you can pause it on the right moment where you can see the sketch in the corner, I gave her a cherry because I forgot that it was a strawberry, which it would make sense it was a strawberry because the original design had strawberries on the cake, but I don't know. For some reason, I just thought it was a cherry. But yeah, I fixed that in the actual design. For her dress, since we're kind of close to that region at this point, I made it kind of look like a waffle cone, and then the bits at the end kind of, I tried to make it look like vanilla ice cream. It'll be more obvious once it's like colored. It's just like some ice cream stuck around the rim or something. And the boots, I just came up with boots for this. I just did whatever. Here's me comparing the size. And then I realized she was kind of short because I had moved her head down so I could fit the hat, but then I realized that made her overall shorter. So I fixed that. So that's why there's the weird thing going on with the pattern in her dress. Here's the coloring. Also, I decided to give her pigtails just so because they all have their hair down. All the girls, anyway. I guess Draco technically does also have his down, but it's not tied up. But but yeah, so I gave her pigtails just to differentiate it a bit. I thought it was cute. I didn't change up the colors that much, I think. I mostly just made it more cohesive because Rainbow's got a bunch of different colors on her, which I guess is fitting to the name, but I just removed some of them because she has some extra colors on her bracelets and socks. I think those are socks. I don't know. So yeah, I just kind of streamlined it a little bit. She still got a lot of colors on her, but Also, I didn't really change around the placement as much as Funny, except for the boots and the skirt, I guess. But I think it's mostly recognizable as the original color palette. I did also make the brown of the K-Cat darker just to match with the rest of it because I wasn't really vibing with the lighter color against the other very bright colors. It's not dark, but as you've probably noticed by now, I did give her a little cupcake bag because I was I should give her a bag, so I made a cupcake one. They were all actually supposed to have a different type of bag because, they're supposed to be Pokemon trainers and they need somewhere to carry all their stuff. But I kind of forgot to with Funny, so that's not a rule anymore, I decided. Also, side note, that's gonna sound kind of weird, but it was nice coloring in more skin. Which again, that probably sounds weird, but I don't do full finished pieces of full body characters that often. If I do, it's mostly my persona, and my persona is very covered. The only skin you really see is on her face and on her hands. And so I don't get to color in the skin that much. So that was fun, I guess. This is probably my favorite design of the two, though it did take me longer. which wasn't because of anything about the design, really. I just didn't really have time to work on it. This was very fun to color though. I really liked the colors I was using, and you know, it was just a nice design to look at while I was filling in some colors. I'm quite proud of myself there. But yeah, that's pretty much Rainbow's design. We can move on to her team now. Yippee! And there's Rainbow's design. I hope you like it as much as I do. Now we can decide her team. Rainbow's Teddy is a pink unicorn who, funnily enough, has a cupcake bag, which wasn't intentional on my part. I guess I just keep accidentally referencing multiple designs. We really only have one option for her ace, but it fits pretty well. The Pokemon I'm talking about is Galarian Rapidash, which is actually pretty pink and blue. Like, I don't even think we need to think about it anymore. Just give her Galarian Rapidash. It's a perfect fit. Next up is the Evolution, and this one's also pretty straightforward. Sylveon. It's the pink one. Rainbow's the pink one. And it's also got some blue in there, like Rainbow. And the Teddy. So, yeah. Okay, now that we got the necessary ones out of the way, we can move on to the next 4. Now with her team, I wanted to lean into like a sweets theme, of course. That didn't really stick though. I wanted to keep like, you know, the baking sweets theme with her, to keep like cohesion between like the design and the team. Because I don't want them to just be like the crew, but with Pokemon teams, right? But really, only 2 really ended up following that theme. And the other 2, you could maybe make a case for. But I think the final choices are satisfying anyway. For Rainbow's 3rd Pokemon, I'm gonna give her Alcremie. Originally, there was gonna be a joke here about, like, which Alcremie? There's a lot of them. No, it's that one. It's the one you see right there. It's the normal one that's showcased everywhere. But then I realized there was actually a pure white Alcremie. Because, you know, I chose Alcremie to represent Rainbow's K-Cat. And the frosting on the K-Cat is white and not pink. But the strawberry sweets still work, obviously. Now, Salted Cream Alcremie, which is what the white one is called, does have some blue lines on it, but I think that still works, actually. The previous 2 Pokemon had blue on them. Rainbow has blue on her, so pretty fitting. Now her next Pokemon is Bounsweet, because I was looking at dessert Pokemon and like sweet Pokemon and stuff like that, and I saw Bounsweet and I was like, that's not really a dessert, but it was calling to me. It's pink, it's cute, and maybe you think Steenie or Serena would work more, which I wouldn't really combat you on that. I think Bounsweet has the vibes we need. After that, I was like, we should get a tall Pokemon, because of, you know, the joke that Rainbow's the tallest of the crew. So let's get the tallest Pokemon. Unfortunately, the tallest Pokemon is Eternatus. I don't think we can give her that. So, Alolan Executor, because it's the one that's everyone like, whoa, it's tall, like an actual palm tree. You could make the argument that it's called Executor. It's got egg in the name. Egg is used for baking. talking about egg. Blissey. I know that's kind of lazy. I didn't know what else to give her. And maybe I shouldn't have given her another pink one. But I don't know, I just gave her Blissey. Same reasoning for this one. Also, baking is oftentimes used as like healing in video games. And Blissey's a healer. So, we did it! Woo, yippee! We did it. There's her team and her design. Yay. Now we finally finished both the designs and the teams for both Funny and Rainbow. Did you like the decisions I made? Would you do something differently? Let me know in the comments. Or don't. I don't need to know your opinions. No, but actually, give me feedback. It's greatly appreciated. And let me know which trainer you liked more, Funny or Rainbow. Maybe you liked one of their designs more, but the other one's team more? Who knows? I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. This took a lot longer to finish than I thought it would. So if you dropped a like and subscribed, that would be greatly appreciated. Now, I think that's everything, so goodbye. I don't have a sign off or anything. Yeah, bye.